Multiple state attorneys general are preparing a joint antitrust probe of big tech companies were confirmed yesterday by Department of Justice antitrust official, actually the head of the DOJ's antitrust department, Makin Del Rahim. This investigation adding additional scrutiny to tech companies, which, of course, are already being probed by the DOJ. That investigation announced last month. The Federal Trade Commission also taking a look. Let's bring in a potential player in this probe for a first on CNBC interview. He is Jeff Landry, Louisiana's Attorney General. Attorney General Landry, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Why are you doing this?
Well, look, over 18 months ago, many attorney generals from around the country started ringing alarm bells that there were certain practices that big tech was engaged in that were problematic. We started discussing those. In fact, over a year ago, all of the attorney generals met in Portland, Oregon, where we had some experts in the tech industry come and talk to us about some of the activity that we thought was problematic and ultimately harmful to consumers. We met thereafter. We met with General Sessions at the particular time. And we've also met just amongst attorney generals, trying to determine whether or not the conduct that is out there is problematic to the consumer and whether it would take action on our part to remedy it. For the most part, we've heard a lot of rhetoric from big tech, but no action. And so, we're going to continue to move down the path of making sure that we protect the consumer.
Right. What does that mean, move down the path? What are you going to actually do while you're moving down that path, and how long is it going to take?
Well, look, we've said that everything is on the table. I mean, certainly as lawyers, we know that litigation is the last option. We would rather resolve these issues without having to go to court or taking any particular official action, but we're not ruling that out. And there is a multitude of particular problems when it comes to privacy data. What is big tech doing with the data that they're gathering from consumers? Is the consumer getting a quid pro quo in that? What Google is doing in the ad tech world, whether or not they're stifling competition in the ad tech world, content suppression, the immunity from 230. Section 230 in the Communications Act. I mean, there are a number of different issues that big tech is involved in that, quite frankly, I would hope that we take a look at.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the issues are all over the map. How much, Mr. Attorney General, actually has to do with anti-competitive behavior that the Department of Justice would be looking into, actual antitrust violations?
Well, I think a majority of them do. Several months ago, I attended an FTC forum under which I testified specifically on Google and the ad tech pipeline. I mean, basically what has happened is there is a commodities exchange now in the digital advertising space. Y'all understand a commodities exchange better than anyone else. The conduct that Google is performing inside this exchange would literally be criminal in any other type of commodities exchange. And I'll walk the FTC through that at each particular step.
And what was the response? And on a larger point here, what is the level of cooperation between you and other AGs that may be pursuing a similar line of inquiry and the federal regulators in the DOJ and the FTC?
Well, first of all, I got to tell you, General Barr's leadership and the team that he's put together, you can tell absolutely grasp the issues that are before us. They understand it. They know, I believe they know the direction that they want to go. It is heartwarming to see that basically the group of attorney generals that are interested in this is a bipartisan group. Everyone recognizes there is absolutely problems in the virtual marketplace by these particular players, and something needs to be done.
Which company are you most focused on?
Look, it's not about a company, it's about the conduct, right? So it's not so much that we're saying, oh, we just want to pick on Google, or oh, we want to pick on Facebook, any of the others. It's basically the conduct. And so if the conduct that's occurring is occurring across those platforms, then that would mean they all are subject to being looked at.
These are companies with very deep resources. They're enormous. They have enormous ability to continue to fight if that's what it takes. And having seen these battles in the past, they go on for years. Is that your expectation here?
Well, look, I certainly don't believe that this is going to be solved overnight. If you look at the history, anytime the government has had to step in where there are antitrust issues, it takes a long time, whether you're talking about Standard Oil, AT&T, Microsoft, all of those cases took a while. The end result, though, at the end of the day, is that the consumer has benefited when the government has stepped in and said that industry has basically outsized its shoes.
I mean, what about the public's response? I mean, does it give you any pause in, a joint bipartisan effort from attorneys general that, for the most part, if you look at companies like Amazon and Facebook, we haven't really seen any user backlash to some of these concerns about privacy or potentially anti-competitive behavior? I mean, it gets a lot of political play, and yet people don't seem to hate these companies.
Well, look, the objective is not for people to hate these companies. The objective is for the consumer to actually understand what is going on. I've used this example before. There has become an expectation for the consumer that when they key search for certain things, when they're shopping through the virtual marketplace, that what they get in front of them is either the best deal or the best price. I can tell you personally, because of what I know, the consumer is not getting that. When you educate the consumer about that, they have problems with it. I hear from consumers all the time that say, you know what, I don't understand. I say something or I search for something, and next thing I know, I'm being bombarded by advertisements on those particular issues. How is that happening? Again, that goes into the realm of privacy and data and the collection of that data by these companies. And what are they doing with it?
Thank you for joining us to talk about all this. And just to confirm, I mean, I'm not sure, it sounds like it. You are involved in this group of state attorney generals joining forces with the Department of Justice to look into this.
Well, look, I
don't think we got that on the record.
I certainly can't make any comment. Right. I can't make any comment about what we're looking into or when we're going to act or any of those things. But anybody out there that doesn't know that I'm involved has got their head in the sand. I've been ringing this bell for about 18 months now.
Well, we appreciate you coming on to talk about it. Jeff Landry, the Attorney General of the state of Louisiana.